Hello there guys, I'm so sorry that my screen is an absolute pain in the arse at the moment. It is literally because my screen is cracked and it's bouncing off here on the camera where it's obviously sending light everywhere. So basically, as you know, yesterday I was served with this. This basically says that it is from the, so basically that's the top of the letter, and it's from certificate bailiffs and High Court enforcement. So the website is dcbltd.com. So basically there was a knock on my door yesterday, and you know what, for somebody who has had absolute high anxiety and high not paranoia, just aware that things were coming around me, because when, like me, you have your children taken, your car hire taken, being evicted from the property that you were living in, and leaving with an older son. My other son was already safe, and then going, what the fuck do I do? You don't think about things like the consequences of having to live in a car, like even things like I would stop in a service station and I would end up falling asleep for much longer, and you can only stay there for 2 hours. It gives you a parking ticket. Now, let me take you back. So let me take you back to when my life was settled. Let me take you back before, obviously, Stephen, which was Aaron and Faith's father. What is annoying me about this whole domestic violence thing is when a woman, mother, leaves a relationship that is domestic violence, predominantly it means bills don't get paid. The majority of the time it will either be a joint bill or it will be all predominantly in the woman's name. So when that relationship ends, she is the one that's left with all the debt, right? As it was in my experience with putting my life together with Stephen, Aaron and Faith's father. And it wasn't until I was finally in another home, away from the relationship, when I started to put the pieces of my life back together. And it was only then that I started to obviously access and go on to Equifax and all the credit searches and find out exactly where I was in my life. At that particular point in my life, I was settled, all my bills were paid, my 2 older boys obviously went to school, Aaron and Faith were with a childminder at the time, and I had what was called stability, okay? I'm just going to have to find my charger, otherwise my charger's going to go out. Now, go back before I ended up having to leave Birchwood, and I only had Aaron, and I was pregnant with Faith, and my relationship with Stephen was already over. And this is how the topple began. Let me just find my charger. Oh, I've got a charger in here. 2 seconds. This battery just runs down so quickly, guys. It just depletes so quickly on my phone. So literally, I'd parked up at the bank in Leyland, and this is going back to 2007, I think. And my son had put my disabled badge. So if anyone knows, when you have a physical condition, you get a blue badge with a wheel on it. And this is what I've always hated. It's been this word disabled. I don't like the word disabled. But anyway, my son put it the wrong way round up. Now, it was still facing forward. It was just upside down. And I got a parking ticket. And I wrote to them like, really? I've got to pay this amount of money. And then it was going up. And I'm writing to them going, hang on a minute. They had a photograph of it. I said, it's in date. It is just literally a child has done it and put it the wrong way up, and obviously me as a mother hadn't checked and didn't think to check. I didn't really think it would be such a problem, especially when you live in a community and it's the same parking people, they know you, blah blah blah. So anyway, I appealed against it and it got refused, and then I got bailiffs knocking on my door. It panicked me so much because they barged in past me. They barged in with my kids there. They started to pull the telly out and unplug the telly. And then they went, well, we can take whatever we like. I collapsed. I passed out. I just literally collapsed. When I come round, I explained I had EDS. It's just melted me down. I've never dealt with anything like that before. And they literally drove me to the bank to withdraw £650, which was over my rent money. It was pretty much literally all I had at the time to pay their bailiff fees, their debt. And I didn't want my children's stuff being taken from the house, so I didn't know what to do. It was that spiral that led me into escorting, I believe. So about that time, I'd been done. No, in fact, that was before. When I'd had benefit fraud officers coming in, having a go at me because I was going to the gym and swimming and training, and they're then going, oh, well, you know, you've got this condition. It's like, well, yeah, I've got this condition, which means I've got to train and I've got to go to the gym and I have to focus on my health. That took my car, took everything. So it's like we go through life and we get on with things, and then people do things and it causes a consequence in our life. And we can either be responsible and say, hey, I've brought absolutely everything into my life and I'm completely responsible for my life and I have to take responsibility for absolutely everything, just as the fact that I have refused these people to come into my home. So yesterday he said that he was here to remove all of my goods, and I basically didn't allow him to enter the property, and I told him to put the letter through the door. They're always called Mr. Stewart, aren't they? Is there only just Mr. Stewart that works for these people? Because if I looked at every single letter that I have, it would probably has Mr. Stewart written on it. So anyway, I haven't thought about all of this stuff because I'm so focused on just getting into court and stopping everything from the moment Aaron and Faith were taken. Because currently in my life, I'm having to constantly keep going around this horrendous cycle because of consequences of me going out there begging for help and getting pulled into things that maybe I shouldn't have been involved in, or maybe I was meant to. I don't know yet. But at the end of the day, I didn't care to coming back to another parking ticket. If I was sleeping in my car in a night, it was safer for me to be in a swimming pool or as the car park because I was under cameras. And if it meant getting a ticket, then so be it. But then obviously when I came here, I started to get on top of all of this stuff. And I was pregnant with Elijah, and they basically told me that if I touched my paperwork, I would lose my baby. And it's like, but hang on a minute, I've got a case going into Supreme Court. I've got a case going into United Nations. I've pulled you up in the EU. And now you're stopping me? And it's like, I have always wondered whether it was all to do with this. And it's like, who knows? I'm never going to know. So basically, parking tickets are about 30 quid, I think, if you pay them within so many days. They say 70, but if you pay them within so many days. This here is for one ticket is sitting at 2,161, and that is just literally because of this being served on me. This is notice after entry or taking control of goods on a highway and an inventory of goods taken into control, right? I still believe that Aaron and Faith were taken because of my debt. I know people think that I'm mental over this, but we have kings and queens, yeah, we have lords, we have these people, right? They exist, yeah, just like in the good old days when they used to ride in on horses and they used to send the soldiers to come and take your money off of you for your land, for your rental, for your cattle, for your thing. And if you couldn't pay, they would take your kids, they would take your daughter, they would take your sons, they would take your son into the army, and they would take your daughter into prostitution. And it's like, if you intentionally, he's highlighted it for me in pink since putting it through my door. If you intentionally interfere with, for example, dispose of or remove controlled goods without a lawful excuse, you will be committing an offence and risk a fine or imprisonment. Now, I've removed my boys from the house today because I still don't know what's coming towards me just yet, because until I am stood in front of a judge getting my chance of absolutely everything that has come, these people are going to keep coming at me from all angles. I am one person, one woman. I'm 43. Thank you so much. I don't want to know if I want to say her name, but thank you so much to the lady who helped me buy my roller skates, which I haven't been to get yet because I've been so distracted with this. Now, I've been served from the Queen's Bench. This is not the only ticket I have. I have literally, I don't know how many. Once I sit there and I work all this out and I get everything straight and deal with what's coming at me, because it's very, very, very difficult to get on with your everyday life when you've got so much baggage that just hasn't been unpacked or hasn't dealt with, or is weighing you down every day. This has speeded things up for me now. I have to respond. I've no choice. I have to respond, because I've just spent all this time skipping, going through bins, getting my wardrobes here, what I've had to go through to get here. I mean, the only thing that I have any debt with, and that is obviously, my boy's bed. And it's like, these people can come in and, I've just found my hat, thank God. These people can come in. Now, officially, they ain't getting nothing for the DVDs. They're out of bins. Some of them are scratched, some of them are not. The boys have scratched them. They're not getting nothing for the TV because we have to deal with no remote controls, DVD's not working. They're getting nothing for this stuff. So the thing is, when they can get nothing for it, they have to detain you. I believe they're detaining our children. I'm going to fucking prove it, mate. What's puzzle pieces? What's this? What's this? Because in the end, by the time they do a walking inventory, what's he going to take out of here? My paperwork? You want my paperwork? So this has all got to be put in order. This is what I'm working on. This is where I'm up to right now. Seriously, I'm paranoid every time there's cars outside now, because they can literally turn up with the police, force this. And the thing is, they can walk around my house and they can weigh things up. Like, as I said, this has just come out of a bin. But it's like this, and this is the only way that I can explain, like, all these people coming at me is just the puzzles. And it's like, there's my 24 hours in the day, which involves like going to the beach, sunrise, sunset. So my day starts sort of around here, and we have breakfast into sort of here. But then I've got to deal with their clock, which says, well, hang on a minute, you've got to be up at this time, you've got to be in this place at this time. And my body, sorry, there's another car outside. I'm going to be like this until this is resolved, because at the end of the day, I don't want to have to deal with my complex trauma, my anxieties, and layers and layers and layers. And the fact that I'm very, very, very scared of anybody touching my body. It causes me a lot of injury. Very scared of my body being touched. So, of course, we've got our good old fire service, haven't we? And that is my council tax. So basically, I've got 2 sets of council taxes being taken out of my money, and probably more if I look at it, because Save the Family hit me with all the council tax and all the rent, We've then obviously got my travel that I'm trying to achieve in my life. We've obviously got the fact that I'm trying to live naturally, back in more farming lifestyle. We love to be by the sea, but people are playing a game of chess with us and think we're pawns. And they think that people like me just produce milk, make babies, and need to be kept in some form of institution. And, you know, we're highly intelligent, yet people treat us like shit. And I have the ball. The ball's in my court. And I know my ABCD. And obviously we have our activities and sports like roller skating, the boys' football, scootering, swimming, sailing, riding, dancing, all of these different activities that require all these different equipment. And then we've got back on the farm again in our home life. And then, of course, we've got the multi-agency framework, yeah? So we've got all of the people under multi-agency. And then, of course, we've got the dinosaurs, the old ways of doing it. And then they've got other parts and sections. So that could be medical, my home, the appliances within my home, the tools and equipment for supporting and enabling. And then the thing is, within each of these areas and these things, I've got all these people. And I'm one person, yeah? So the man at my front door, just one person, who then potentially brings 2, 3, 4 people. Then I've got the social worker and the social worker's manager, and then their PA, their receptionist, their legal team. Then I've got the mayor. Then I've got the fact that we deal with our GP, the secretaries and the receptionists that we can't get in before them people. Then we've got the fact that we deal with the people over the phone. Then we've got the fact that we ring our electric people, who then we have to deal with some other person, who puts us through to another person, who puts us through to another person, who puts us through to another person. And then if we meet people on the streets, and all these people walking past us, and all these people walking past us, somebody pisses us off, and we have to make a phone call to one police officer, who rings another police officer, who puts a call through to 2 other police officers, who then turn around and bring big squad car, 5 police officers, 2 thingamajigs, yes. And then you've got your dad, your mum, your nan, your granddad, if they're alive, and then your brothers, then your sisters, then your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, and all these people, yeah? So say you're an old person and you're laying in your bed and it's morning and your bladder's really pushing on you. You can't quite get out of bed, but you can just ring the bell. You're laying in your nightgown, you know. You're not very dignified. You ring your bell. In walks John. Good morning. Need to go for a wee, do ya? Come on, love. Hang on, 2 seconds, just got to go and see Edna. So in walks Charlie, then Dorothy, then Cynthia, then some new person. And you just want to go for a wee. A lot of old people get left in their piss, you know, and their shit. A lot of old people in these care homes get told to shut the fuck up. A lot of old people are very into their architect. They like to read. They like to get up really early in the morning. They're very set in their ways. Very much know who they are and what they do and what they love. But unfortunately, they can't live on their time frame and their body clock. Where's my other clock? Where's my other clock? I need it. Where's my clock? One day I'm going to have awesome visuals. We have to live on this clock. So old people get woken up when carers come in, not when their body clock wakes them up. You've got to go for a piss and a wee from when they can actually come in and change over. And if you actually do call the police for anything, there's time frames and they work on schedules. And now I've got to deal with Mr. Stewart at the front door. And it's like you're trying to deal with the fact that all your life has gone and you're grieving, whether you're an old person in a old people's home who can be told when your sibling, your daughter or your son can come and visit you. While COVID, you get no visitors. If you're in prison, you get no visitors. Well, you're being dictated and told to, and then we wonder why we have this massive big mental health issue. Because obviously, you know, the tractor person wanted to be a sports car person, but he was told he had to be a tractor person, and now he's got to live as a sports car for the rest of his life, but he wants to be a tractor. And he can be a tractor, but his daddy said he has to be a sports person, because if he's not a sports person, he becomes a tractor, and then he'll be rejected by his family, so he becomes a sports person. So we live in this dogma constantly, worried about what our parents will think, worried about what the teachers will think, worried about what the neighbours are going to think, worried about what this person thinks, that person thinks. Well, right now, I've got to worry about the fact that some man, Mr. Stewart, got up for work this morning, left his wife and his kids if he has them. One kids would have gone off to school, and Mrs. Stewart might have gone and worked for some carer somewhere, while Mr. Stewart has got to go and deal with it. Because we're dealing with mass hierarchy here in terms of Queen's Bench and its fines, they can manhandle me in any way, shape or form that they like, and I can't defend myself in any way, shape or form. Now, this parking ticket in particular is from Bristol. And it's actually when Dean and I had got together and we were trying to make some money to get some petrol to get me down to London for the hearing from the EU on state kidnapping in the UK. And we just sold a load of tops, t-shirts, and we just got the stuff, and we wasn't in a, it was like on a corner of a street in Bristol. And we were actually okay where we were parked, and I got a parking ticket, and it was like we had no address or anything to even argue it, so it just sort of got left. And then obviously, once I've left my home and I've lost my home, I've had mail going to my home, and I haven't been getting it because obviously I was on the streets or in a car. And then I eventually get settled in London for my court case for my kids. People finally come around my spaghetti junction of paperwork that you know, I'm on my time frame while I'm dealing with their tick-tock clock, having to go battlefield of the mind, because ultimately, what do I do if a complete and utter stranger wants to grab my arm, pin me, drag me in a car, take me away, have to remove my children because obviously my children are in the house with me, and Dean is out trying to sort some money out at the moment. And then even Dean, you know, if he was sitting in a studio making music and doing his art, could potentially make a lot of money, and his art's actually on someone's website up for quite a bit of money. But we don't have a studio here, and neither of us have the equipment that we needed, because we both lost our entire lives and came together with nothing more than my paperwork. Now, I've ignored some paperwork for a long time, because at the end of the day, there's nothing that I can do about it. Right here, right now, I do not have 2,160 work. Look at the way they've done that there. So for him knocking on my door, that was £842. Now, where does that £842 go? Now, on the bottom of this letter, it's separated into 5 courts. London, the Solar House, 915 High Road, North Finchley, London. N12 8QJ. Then the Northwest, which is Direct House, Greenwood Drive, Manor Road, Runcorn. And then there's Scotland, Barncliffe Business Centre, Town Head Street, Hamilton. And then there's Birmingham, Colmore Plaza, 20 Colmore Circus, Queensway, Birmingham. Then there's Wales, Sophia House, 12 Cathedral Road, Cardiff. These are businesses. They have VAT numbers, trading licence, company reference numbers, ICO registration numbers, DCBL, whatever it is. They're authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. They're registered by companies' addresses, which is directed in Runcorn, which is basically then meaning that the northwest one is predominantly. All of these go to Northampton. Now, I'm not willing to get into a ticket parking war here in Portsmouth because I just go around it again and again and again. I still don't want to have to go and get a disabled badge because I refuse to be disabled by this country. Now, what they've said is here is to avoid the goods taken into control being soiled, payment of the sum outstanding must be paid on return. When's return? So anyway, I want to use this as an opportunity because it's open. My name is now sitting in Queen's Bench, waiting for me to be either arrested or my goods to be removed. I have to file an injunction on everything that's going on in my life. The fact that I'm having to pay £192 for my car insurance at the moment because I've got fees coming out and parking tickets for absolutely nothing on this occasion. I do believe I'm being bullied and harassed. Targeted, so they say. Why? Why would somebody like me be targeted? Well, somebody like me ended up on the front page of the bloody paper who is a royal bastard's kid who wouldn't want someone like me coming out. Why would anyone want me coming out and taking my inheritance when my great-grandfathers died and legally I am a bloodline, so are my cousins, so is my dad, so is my uncle, so are my aunties. We are the bloodline of Sir Lord Pierce's family. Fact. There's many royal bastard kids, families. Many. Fucking been going on for generations. Knights have been raping and pillaging people for years. Kings have been, what was the rule? That if you were to marry, the king had a right to consummate your wife before you even could. People were this is how sort of the likes of Robin Hood and things like that happened, where people started to go and live in forests because they were trying to protect their children and their families, because don't forget, in heresy times they were killing all under 2-year-olds to make sure that Jesus was never born. It was written. These people have planned for prophecy for the book of Revelations for years. War is going on in Jews will say there is no Palestine. Israel. Jesus wasn't born in London, mate. He was born... He wasn't a Westerner. Jesus was born in Jerusalem, in Israel. Hence why Israel. So he was an Israeli. Well, actually, he left Bethlehem, if you remember the story. Little donkey, carry Mary on her way. Gotta keep on walking forward. Yeah? So if you remember the story, Jesus, the baby in Mary's belly, that was conceived by immaculate conception, like all us whores, and at the end of the day, he's not white. He's a Jew. So anyway, London's not really talked about in the Bible much. They didn't go to see Big Ben. It wasn't there. And I don't think America really got much of a look in the Bible either. I don't think the Bible mentions anything about the waxwork museums of all these celebrities and role models and people. But anyway, one thing that is not on any of this paperwork is a court seal. Show me where there is a court. There's no order. It's bullying. It's harassment. And we've been allowing it to happen for many, many, many years. We've been allowing them to traffic us, use us as slaves, on the note of the Lord. If you do not pay or you do not agree to a payment arrangement with the enforcement agent, they may remove any goods they have taken into control to sell to secure them on any site. This will increase the cost of enforcement, and these costs will be added to the money that you owe. Hey, all you're going to do is cause for me to commit suicide, mate. That's all you're going to do. So, do they care whether we commit suicide because we can't take the pressure from all angles? I have to stay alive, mate. Because there's 2 little children that need to know the truth. That's my committal to prison. Why did I get committed to prison? Did I rape somebody? Did I abuse children? Did I rob old grannies? Was I selling drugs? Did I smash up people's properties? Did I hit a policeman? No. I said, they've got my kids. Social services have got my kids. Aaron and Faith have been taken by Flintshire County Council by District Judge Andrew Shaw, who was the solicitor for Paul Burroughs to do with Princess Diana and the Hidden Diaries. And Cheryl Osborne, a social worker who was at the National Achievers Congress in 2000. She's named on the fucking list as well. So Cheryl Osborne, the social worker that actually took and removed my children, who did a Dickens process with me on the basis of if I didn't take my children and then use that sentence, I'll smash the Xbox or kill my kids, as grounds to walk into a court to remove my children, right? Who was attending the National Achievers Congress and UPW in 2012. She was there as a guest where I was with my children present. I've reconnected up to a lot of the Success Principle people. Hey, I'm back. Long time no see. Blocked. I'm not a criminal. It's my medical notes. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I'm hypermobile. I have problems with my body that I'm not faking. It's real. And I have every legal entitlement to specialists who understand me. That doesn't make me grandeur. It doesn't make me a narcissist. It just means that my body works a little bit different. Like, you ready? I've got to do it because I've got up. I've got to do it, so I do it for you. Ready? Ah! There she goes. Nothing. My knees are just absolutely perfect, aren't they? My body is perfect. I have no problems with my spine whatsoever. My knees are awesome. Do you see me running these marathons? Do you see me climbing these mountains? Do you see me nailing everything in my dance and my roller skates? Don't you just see me out there every day, running, nailing it every day, because I'm just fit, healthy, fantastic, fine. I don't need doctors for fuck all. I don't need painkillers for fuck all, because there's nothing wrong with me. I'm faking it. It's all in my head. Yes, it is in my head. 100% it's in my head. It's called cranial instability. It means that ligaments too lax. I am subluxing down into my spine. There is a way of actually helping me. There is prolotherapy. There is many things that I'm entitled to. But in order to do it, I can't live off their bloody time clock. I gotta live on mine, around my children, around my life. So, I don't care what these people are doing. If you step to my door, I will protect my property against the state, against the police, against social. And if I have to now move myself from this property and put myself with people who do keep guns, who do keep people safe, then I would do that. But I don't know these people very well, and I wouldn't willing to do that, because as I had said with Aaron and Faith, what if I had put a kidnap crew out there to get my children back at whatever price I could have paid? People like that will then double wham me and go, we've got your children, now we've just doubled the price. So I don't want to deal with people like that. I'm one person on my own. I cannot do everything, but I can do something. And I'm not willing to let what I can't do getting in the way of what I can do. So right now, what I want to do is write an injunction to the Queen's Bench to put an injunction on any action around me at the moment, be it to do with my debts, be it to do with my car, be it to do with social, be it to do with my doctors, absolutely everything. Even you people, even the person who's got that website that's out there on me. Injunctions on the fucking lot of it. Then we will deal with Kellie Cotton, who once was born Kellie Hill, who was then changed to Kellie Avis, who was then changed to Kellie Avis Forrester, who then married to become Kellie Wilkinson, who then married to become Kellie Cotton. On both sides of my family, our names were taken from different sides. Hill, which is my nan's name, was actually a woman's name and isn't actually the family line of my name. On my dad's side, they can't track down or identify with Sir Lord Pierce. All they know, his name was Sir Lord Pierce. There is only one Sir Lord Pierce that I have managed to be able to find, and he was the head of, he wrote the justice for the Privy Council, and was on the Privy Council for the Pills of Justice. I have already been through the main courts. I have been rejected at High Court. I was just about to go to Supreme Court, and my friends had gone to United Nations and EU. I now need to write a document that brings in everything from the moment from the moment I was born here. Sorry, I have vocal cord and I've been talking for too long now. Everything from the moment I was born, with the consequences of actions. Now, please do know that if someone like me had been diagnosed with Asperger's and the conditions that I'd had back then, it wouldn't have been nice for someone like me. I would have probably been sitting in an institution going medicated to fuck me. And I have been in a mental health hospital. I do know what it's like, and it's not nice. So anyway, I'm about to write my personal boundaries. These are my personal boundaries. Nobody is allowed to enter my property without my consent. Only people who are allowed to enter my property is any person who understands Asperger's, EDS, and the management of my home, and are trustworthy to be around my children, and of course trustworthy to be around my children's father, partner, the man that loves me, the man that I love. But we just, you know, he's still here, I'm still here. And how people treat me. No person shall be within so far from me. And why that I have this condition. So for those that don't know, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're dancing with me. It doesn't matter whether you're just going out and about with me. I have a right to live the way that I need to live with. I'm already round with my mum, because my mum says she's going to treat the boys as normal. And I've said, do that, you will end up... she basically says, why are you trying to disable the children? Yeah, I'm really trying to disable children over swimming and shit, aren't I? My boys are entitled to go swimming every day, mate. I'm entitled to go swimming every day. Every single person in the world is entitled to put their health before anything. We have been born slaves into slavery, and we are slaves. We are living the life of rules and regulations around us that are not conducive with who we are, and we live under this dogma and these belief systems that make it very trapping. And it's very difficult for people to take those belief systems off, because unless you actually take the time out of your life to go, my name is Kelly, this means, so Kelly means warrior maiden, okay, so does that define who I am? No, not really. I was born under a Taurus moon. Does that define who I am? Predominantly, yes. There are different characteristics and features that exist with people within the zodiac star lines. At the end of the day, the Bible made it very clear about, sorry, my neck is killing me, guys. I have to try and hold it up while I'm talking to you, because I do actually I just don't have the stability in my neck to hold it up. Someone like me should be sitting in a case until it has all been dealt with. So I spent a lot of time as a kid keeping a scarf or a tennis ball underneath my chin. And if you actually go back to my first ever 6 videos that I did, you'll actually see me talking, and then occasionally my head will just go boom, and you'll actually see it on the video, and then you see me starting to sit like that. And that's just because I've lost control of my head. And that's what I'm dealing with, basically. So because this is so difficult, I've got to basically write the truth and say, well, it's not in your paperwork because you didn't say this. So the manager of children's social care sent me an email. Very nice. Hey, Kelly, I was thinking about you the other day. Where did you graduate from psychology? What year did you graduate? And was I aware of the trauma cycle? Well, yes, I am. And as I was reading this document, it's all about drugs, sexual abuse and violence yet again. Did you know that yesterday with the bailiffs knocking on my door was trauma? Going to the hospital, having tubes down my throat, tubes up my ass. Trauma. Having my neck. This is trauma. Trauma is not just about whether somebody has physically, sexually raped you, whether your parents give you a clubber, or whether or not... that's it. There is other forms of trauma and abuse, and they're so fucking narrow-minded, and this is why the system doesn't work, because they're constantly safeguarding children against physical, sexual, emotional abuse. Well, emotional abuse exists in many other levels and ways that you're just not qualified to actually understand, because if your child is telling you that they want to skate and you're saying no because they might fall over, you're abusing that child. You are denying them because of your own fears now. You're projecting on your child. Oh no, don't go in the water, you might drown. Get in the fucking water and swim with your kids then, so they fucking don't. Stop projecting on your kids. Oh no, your child's doing really well. It's actually succeeding in what it's doing, not what you managed to succeed. Are you going to help your child to succeed because nobody fucking helped you? Well, yes. Do you know what pisses people off? They'd love a mother like me, because it doesn't matter what my kids want to be. I will always enable my children to be who they are, what they are here to do. I got literally 2-3 months left before I will be forced into this institution of this home, this 2-bedroom flat, to be grateful for it. And the school across the way for my children, and to live a life of them going to charter school over here unless I win the lottery. If I win the lottery, everybody will be all right. They'll all come for me money off me, and the school will want me to build them a park and everything. They'll parade me around for a bit and then drain me of everything I've got and put me on the streets. So I've got months now until this is my institution, where I will get so complacent with making sure the rent is paid, the bills are paid, or we start getting into some form of functional routine of me getting up, dropping the boys over at nursery, going over to the dance studio or the gym, and eventually my children progress to the next stages, and I may join on the PTFA or whatever they want to call it at this time, if I can, with the criminal record that I have. I don't have a criminal record, I have a social services record. And eventually maybe progressing to doing something, go to Victorious every year as a whoop whoop celebration, and watch the sunrise and the sunset, and maybe in the school holidays we might go over to Portugal. And that to me is ultimate hell. That to me is hell. That to me is hell for me and my kids. And My mother, even talking to Dean today, and I'm trying to ask him about the Queen's Bench, and I've got everybody focusing on just this. And it's like, why are you focusing on just this? I'm doing it all, mate. I'm bringing it all. I ain't just bringing mine through the door, mate. I'm bringing everything that I've seen through the door. From the moment that I posted up, they've got my kids. Social services have got my kids. What do I do? From the moment Family Army came out, to the moment I was picked up with anonymous masks from Save the Family, to the moment I had the police officers all over my fucking door, to the moment one police officer tells me, Kelly, you don't belong here. You need to get out of here now. You know, to the everything. Every person I've ever spoke to. I mean, the unfortunate thing is I've lost some of my accounts. I've lost my bamboozers. I've lost things, and I'm trying to put everything together properly in an order. Amber has been here to do it to a level, but she hasn't understood what I've been trying to do. People don't have the education and understanding, which is really fucking annoying because it makes me work at a much lower level than I can actually work at. My brain has not stopped on this for many years now. It processes it daily, every day. I knew back in 2007 that I was going to be in 5 courts around the UK and I would win. I didn't know what this was for. I just thought it was going to be about me not having to pay the level of tax, because if I now go to work, even now if I go, okay, I've got debt, what do you do when you're in debt? Well, you can go bankrupt, you can do an IVF, you can do the debt relief forms. I can even have beat the bailiffs here. Please don't think that I don't know this stuff. Of course I do, but I have, you know, a left hand and a right hand. I have no laptop at the moment again. Well, I do, but I don't, because I've got to plug it into the keyboard. Trying to work my fingers on this laptop's a fucking nightmare. I've no voice activation stuff. I've got my phone. But what I need at the moment is to literally focus on this Queen's Bench, because I want to go into the Queen's Bench, put the injunction while I prepare for the case and everything. Prepare to get my scan, push. But the problem is I've got to bring this through all layers. So I've got to put the injunction on, to call a judicial review, to call a finding of facts, to call a compensation judicial review, and then bring criminal action. And I'm still going to halt the adoption drive, and I'm still going to push for the reunification and alteration of this system. I'm going to prove that they are abusing families with physical conditions, a diagnosis, and that all of these letters are all bog standard cut and pastes, and they put fucking fear into us, that we bow down because we're fearful, and we do as we're told, and it causes a whole cycle of issues, because you end up robbing Peter to pay Paul, and you can't ever get straight. I said it on Daybreak, and I still stand by what I say. The system is not designed to enable and support you into who you are, to what you're trying to achieve in your life. The system is there to keep you out of the way, so you cannot interfere with what's going on. Like, while you've been on lockdown, a lot of you would have been entertained by stuff going on, pre-planned stuff. It's kept you going for about 18 months, so you're not going mental or whatever. A lot of people have gone in themselves and have realised what's going on and have worked on themselves to make sure that when it comes out, they're coming into a better place. Some people are going to come out of this and realise that their life no longer exists. Mr. Stewart can turn up at my house as from now, any point. I will know by Friday whether I'm going to be dealing with this on Monday. I have to do what I've got to do. I struggle so much with my hands and writing. If any person knows any sentences that I need within them structures of what I've said, or anything outside of that I don't know about that I need to be using right now, I'm not interested in just my parking tickets. I'm going for it all. I'm going for the reunification of my entire life, because I know full well that as soon as I get this right MRI scan, it will give them the evidence that they need, that I've been dealing with a physical matter. And we do have a right to care plans here, and we do have the NHS here. Over and around the world, people deal with things in different ways. I don't have acupuncture done, by the way. My body is protected, and it will even blister if I try to have acupuncture. But people like us need our own foundations and fundamentals. Without them, that we can't thrive. And what I just feel like it's doing, unless I take the reins of this, unless I say stop, it can't happen. So that means all of a sudden another letter that pins up, they can't keep taking money out of what I've got and bringing it all the way around. Until I take control of this situation, people are going to continue bullying me, and they're going to continue getting away with it. People like the person who's got the website up with me are going to continue getting away with being like this. It's very difficult for me to have 24 hours in a day and do everything that I need to be able to do in terms of being a mum and everything. People can say, oh, put me in nursery. Look, no, it ain't the freaking answer, mate, because once we're stuck, we're stuck. I really don't like battling suicide. Battling suicide is not a very nice place to be because you have to beat it. You have to constantly remind yourself that there's another day tomorrow. There's another day tomorrow. Whatever happens to you, it doesn't matter. Even if they come through this door and they take me out in the car and they do, it doesn't matter. Then that was just meant to have been part of my life, and I was meant to go to that place. I was meant to go through what I was going to go through. But what is really horrible is you go through these things. It changes who you can trust. It changes who you can rely on. It changes who you can depend on, who you can turn to, who you can speak to. And I have to keep people away, mate, who keep me going down the wrong way. And it's like, stay away, mate. You're dragging me down the wrong fucking path. And I'm not willing to do it. Whether it's your education, whether it's your understanding, or whether it's you're just projecting on me like people do who go, don't do this because... That's their own belief systems. Nobody's ever achieved and done what I'm about to do. All I keep getting off Dean is, Kelly, you're never going to beat the state, mate. I'm not trying to beat the state. I'm not trying to beat the state. It's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to beat the state. I believe in justice, because if justice didn't exist, my Uncle Sam would still be in prison. He's not. He's out. There was a formality and a process that we had to follow as a family, and we did it and we won. Life is not a game, but in a court thing, it is a win-lose situation. It is prosecution v defence. Well, I'm not willing to do this anymore. I'm not willing to be in fear. And also, do you know what? If they come in and my bed and my sofa and my telly gets taken, my rent is paid. I'm protected so fucking lot because I'm not on an interim property. I was in an interim property before. I didn't have a contract. So now it's my turn to write my contracts, my commitments, and I will only deal with people who signed them to deal with me. You know, sign no contracts and commitments around me? Fuck off. Get out my way, go away. You don't know what EDS is, fuck off. You don't understand my management plan, go away. You don't get the fact that I have to deal with things in a certain way because your world is fucking ridiculous. Do you know what the problem is with neurotypicals? You worry too much about what people think about you. You live up your fucking asses. You can't speak fucking truth to save your asses. And you would rather live a complete dogmatic fucking bullshit life than speak any truth. And it takes for us Aspies to come along and go, no, it's wrong. What you're doing is wrong. Like even the woman across the road, she's tried to befriend me. Sorry, you're not my friend, mate. Unless you can stand in front of me, I might have done what I've done and defended her garden and her house, and I will do that because that was the right thing to do. But you treat me like a cunt, you've decimated me, you've discriminated me, and I don't have the time for that bollocks right now. And I don't care in the same way that I used to. I don't. I used to worry that I might upset someone, hurt somebody's feelings. Well, I don't intentionally ever want to hurt anybody's feelings. But I ain't willing to go to prison for people. Do you get this? The only person I'll go to prison for is murdering the people who took Aaron and Faith off me. And that was before I had Elijah and Shiloh. I've got 2 boys, mate. Had I not had Elijah and Shiloh, I'd guarantee you, mate, if I'd not had these boys, my next step, if Dean had not taken me off Downing Street, oh yeah, I'd have gone after them one by one. And I would have done. I would have rather have sat in prison and gone after them one by one for what they did. But I didn't. I was taken off Downing Street. I had a baby in my belly, and I've come here and I've done what I've done. And you know what? They ain't even in my life right now, mate. They ain't here helping me put the pieces together. They ain't here helping me formalise a home. They're not here lifting things and moving things. They're not here chilling when I'm reading a book, looking over my shoulder. I can't chill now. I will not be able to rest or chill now until this is done, because it's not just going to be him coming at my door. It's going to be another one, another one, another one, and they will come at me harder and faster and thicker than ever, because they know I've got 2 months, mate. They're either going to institutionalise me by the 3rd of September here in this space, or I'll be in my next book. And closer to Aaron and Faith being told that their mum loves them. And they were taken from me. I didn't give up. They were not abandoned. And I have never, ever, ever given up. And I haven't turned to drink, drugs, crime, nothing. Even in my hardest days, I haven't nicked milk, nappies, nothing, mate. I have gone through bins for my things, my clothes. I have juggled my money every fucking month to try to make sure at least those main things were done. I didn't even buy baccy, mate. I picked dimps up off the floor to deal with my own fucking smoking habit or my pain relief. And I've still treated people with kindness. I have still smiled at people on the streets. I've still been humble to fucking people that treat us like shit. I'm not faking the pins and needles in my hands. I'm not faking my veins up now, just because I've got a little bit upset. But you can't fake my ulnar bone. I'm not faking shit in my neck. All I'm saying is, I don't have the 1,500 quid and the 350. Now the fucking £2,000. Now the doodah. And do you know what? Even if, say, tomorrow my website all of a sudden fucking works, mate, and it gets to where it needs to get to, and I get to where I need to get to, and I get to what I need to do, and I'm thriving financially, I don't owe this fucking money, mate. You kidnapped my children. You took their child benefit. You threw me on my fucking ass in the middle of a transference from tax credits to working fucking tax credits to being self-employed. You fucking had a go at somebody who lifted herself from fucking disability, enabled herself, dragged herself out of all of this shit, who chooses to focus on her damn fucking health, who takes it from her mother, takes it from her fucking father, takes it from her fucking siblings, takes the fucking... Seriously, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. And I have hurt myself my entire life because of feeling that there was something wrong with me. I've spent Sundays and Sundays sitting on the motorway in Preston because I didn't have families to go for Sunday fucking dinner with, when my friends had Sunday dinners at their mums and their families, and I couldn't take my kids to go to nannies for Sunday dinner. I'd take my kids to a restaurant for Sunday dinner. It was always too much just being at home, just me and the kids. I can't wait. I can't wait to finally get my justice in court, go for my MRI scan, for that thing to come back and say cranial instability, which is resulting in which causes this, which causes the Chiari to drop. This is what she's been dealing with. She's been going into fucking hospital since she was fucking 19 years old, and she's now... Well, actually, I was 11 years old when I was crying on the bed over my knees. I remember it. I remember being at bow hunt with my mum telling me it's flew in my middle bow. I remember being 7 years old, struggling playing netball and athletics. I can remember back as young as maybe 3. That's when they started doing the psychological reports on me. We have every right to talk to people about stuff that's hurting us. Not fearing sectioning, not fearing these people taking away our power and control like a DV and violent person, telling us when we can go out, what we can do. Look, if somebody needs to go into rehab and they sign up to that agreement, that is different, mate. Trauma's different. You're causing the trauma. Trauma just isn't about sexual, physical, emotional abuse. I know somebody was beaten by their dad, regular. And the worst abuse was when he had gone out and made all of the money for a balloon and come home and his father burst the balloon. The pop of that balloon was more trauma than the beatings that he got, because it was something that he had earned. One of the reasons that I've never set my business up or wanted to do things is because everyone keeps taking things. I've already had 3 cars taken since I've been in here in Portsmouth. I've already had my son taken. Elijah, I'm talking about Elijah. Elijah has already been taken off of me in this city, mate. I have already been assaulted and put into St. James's for someone to say she's stressed. Yes, I'm stressed. Yes, stressed, pulled in all directions because of your fucking puzzle pieces, your time clocks, and your fragmented system that I couldn't give a shit about, mate. I couldn't give a shit. I don't want it. I don't want your council house. I don't want your government fucking benefits. I don't want your fucking help. I don't want your support. I just want to make my own money, sell my book, go and do my speaking things, live in my nice little beautiful home with a fucking massive big gate and fucking dogs and 6 pigs at the back that all people can go that way because my pigs will devour you and spit your fucking teeth out and I'll bury your fucking teeth. And that's how I'm getting now. That's how I'm getting now because I've had enough of it. So until I go over to the courts, right now I'm in trauma. Right now I am in fear. Right now I am in stress and anxiety. And I can see and imagine what it feels like to have police holding you because I have been through this experience. Even going into court scares the shit out of me because I know what it's like to turn up to a court case to have fucking police officers and security while you're being told that your appeal has been denied. And they have to make sure that the police and security intimidate you, violate you. They kicked my son out of a court to gag me. Do you know what gag means? Do you know what that means? That means that I basically walk into a courtroom, they rape me, and when I walk out of that courtroom, I'm just to go, hello guys, how you doing? That was really lovely in there. They're really nice people, aren't they? No, they pinned me down. They didn't rape me physically as in have a sex with me, but they raped me physically as in they verbalised, assaulted me with words from when I was a kid that aren't even true, defamated me, called perjury. Fuck knows where they get some of their opinions from. Fuck knows where they get some of their information from. And then all of a sudden you're told you can't be a mother anymore. And then you're to walk out of the court and you're to just get on with your life. No, what that means is I can't turn around and say that District Judge Andrew Shaw, Cheryl Osborne and Carrie Larn and PC Stephen Lewis kidnapped my children, mate, committed perjury, forced adopted them and have made shitloads of money, and then they come after me causing me complete and utter trauma when I'm then going to stay with friends because they've taken my children, my car, my home, my life. They alienate my mother from me. They completely alienate my father from me. They completely defamate me every morning. And they even send shills and trolls in on social media to cause you even more fucking problems, mate. And they do, and it's fact. I owe money. I have to take responsibility for that. But they have to be held accountable, mate, for what they did. And that will mean that actually I don't owe them a penny. And they're going to end up owing me millions and millions in compensation. And many other people. But it is having the balls to do it. And us underdogs, mate, us mere vermin, us mere mortals, we're not royals, darling. Well, if I'm Sir Lord Pierce's granddaughter, then I am royal. So, and my whole family is. But that's not even royal, because Jesus is the only bloodline. And he had a son. And he carried on a bloodline that exists in this planet. And they don't like it. Because we're not up against, if you have a look at Israel and the Star of David, it's 6 points. Another thumb there. I've got a thumb here for my 6. There's 6 points to the star. All the stars you're seeing is 5-pointed stars. The control and the balance of the world is changing right before our very faces. And we're going into some very dark, horrible times. You're going to see more and more children sexualized, not knowing who they are, thinking they can be a boy today, a girl tomorrow, that there's no gender, there's no sex, there's no marriage. Go to a wedding in September though. That's good. That's nice. I don't know. I'm fucking just scared shitless right now, really. And I just need people around me. I need John, really, but he's dead. I need Professor Graham, but he's dead. I need a lot of people, but they're all dead. All the people that I need right now are dead. I need people who understand the Queen's Bench, common law, statute law, who understand court bundles, putting things away, and everything from these to prohibited steps order to injunctions. So if you are absolutely spot on over all that stuff, and just think of it as playing a game of cards right now, or checkmate. I need the people who understand the paperwork that can help me go checkmate. And then really end this. All of it. Like really turn this all around for us all. I'm sure there's many, 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 many people out there being denied proper medical care. And there's shitloads of you that have been told that you're worthless, that you've got mental health issues, that you're depressed, you've got borderline personality, narcissistic traits, you're schizophrenic, you're a psychopath, that you won't ever be anything, and they're sticking your benefits and disabling you. And that's bollocks. It's bollocks. It's a DSM-5, it's bollocks. Please, as we go through these final stages, take the time to really find those gifts and tools and talents of yours. Doesn't matter whether it's skating, writing, drawing, writing poetry, designing clothes, making comics. Forget about the industry that you're meant to go in, or the college or the university, and just start with your natural talents. Your natural talents. I do know the Beat the Bailiff guys, but I need to go bigger than that, so that's just one piece. That's just one piece of the puzzle. I've got to bring the whole puzzle together now, and so bring all that together. And what I'm saying is at the moment there's no point people just bombarding me with information. All it will do is overload me, and I'll end up on top of the building jumping off of it. I am very suicidal in terms of that sort of stuff, but I would never take action on suicide. And yes, AI has already picked up on me saying it, and yes, I will already get a notification. And I shouldn't live in fear now by speaking about that I could get sectioned because some cunt goes, oh, she's suicidal. Look, we've got our battles, mate. We've got our demons to deal with. Deal with it. Deal with it. Stop being fucking idiots, mate, and feeding people into this very same system that isn't helping. And it's not. It's hindering. People like us, we need our mum to talk to. We need our father to protect us. We need our brothers and our siblings. We need our cousins and our friends. And that's why we were given a family. And we weren't taught family resolution and conflict. We weren't taught that we might fall out or have a row. Someone like me doesn't like conflict. And I don't like people to manipulate me either. So, anyway, only got kind of a couple of hours left, so I need to go and get an injunction form printed. If I had an office, it would be so much easier. I could sit here and do this, but I haven't. And I can't use the library at the moment now because I've got to be on track and trace. And as I've said, I'm holding right the way through until I see how all this is going before I will ever even step into any of it. If I end up getting sick, then give me the treatment. I don't need to be pumped with loads of drugs right now. My mum's had her vaccination, she's fine. My uncle's had theirs, they're fine. Most people are fine. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying about this at all. If you want my name and number on your database, we used to have these things called phone books, and we made a decision on whether we used the phone book. And we gave our data away. People don't need to be stealing our data. You know, I get that there's all this terrorism going on. I get all of this. I get that they need the face recognition. I get that they're in a war, but I'm not in a war with nobody. I'm not in a war with Israel. I'm not in a war with Palestine. I'm not in a war with London. I'm not in a war with America. I'm not even in a war between Jesus and the devil. That's not my battle. It's not my fight. I got my own things to deal with. This world is absolutely beautiful, and I want to appreciate it and see the wonderful beauty. I don't want to keep seeing the greed and corruption and inappropriate living and lifestyle standards. I want to go and be in nature and spend my time with nature and with really beautiful people. I mean, people that enable people, people that, you know, if you sit around and you talk about going, you know, into mountains or doing something, you know, you can have wonderful conversation with these people. Unfortunately, in this life and this level, most people are living in a projection. It's a residual of their former selves, and it's just constant projection. And it's so difficult to have conversations with people because I can't tell whether you're lying or not to me, and that's really difficult. So I would rather just not deal with people, because unless you're dealing with people who are so damn raw, I would rather deal with somebody who says a spade is a spade rather than, you know, oh, well, you know, it's this and it's that because they're too insecure or whatever. It's hard work. It's hard work. It's hard work trying to, even with Josie, it's hard work even trying to fathom her story because there's so much to it that just doesn't link and it's so hard. Um, so yeah, right now I haven't got time to socialise. I haven't got time to be fucked about. I haven't got time for people to think that my website is, um, you know, just a thing. You know, this is my life. It's my business. It's my company. It's how I make money. It's how we live, how we purchase our home and things. And I don't have this, so I have to constantly deal with this because my life for the last 11 years has pretty much been people dealing, feeding off of my pain, and people who have driven and fueled a lot of that anger, um, and cut, cut the scissors. Anyway, just to show you, I've got a lovely butterfly thing and your mum card. My flowers are starting to go on me, but I don't care what you all say about Dean. You know, that man's here, and it's hard for anybody, but he's here. I don't know how anybody deals with anyone who's going through the grief and trauma that I'm going through, because every day is a battle. There is no normal day. And until my life is in some form of order, and for as long as I keep breaking my gag and speaking out, it's going to keep coming. So, you know, when you got gangrene and you got to rip that plaster off, and it might seem like it's going to really fucking hurt, but you got to do it anyway. That's where I am right now. I am absolutely shit scared of going back into these courtrooms after what they put me through. I am absolutely shit scared of walking through that door where a man can hold me, or a woman can hold me in contempt of court at any point because they're not understanding what I'm saying, and I'm trying to just make them understand from my point of view of what I'm trying to explain to them. And then people go, oh, from your point of view, you need to look at everybody else's point of view. No, darling, I've got to deal with my life. I can't deal with your life. I can't get your life in order for you unless you pay me to do so. I can't sort your shit out. I've got to sort my shit out. Selfish fucking me. Me, my life. Because everybody is throwing a fucking darts at me, coming at me from all fucking angles, and all it's going to do is wear me out. All it's going to do is flip me out. And I am not letting any of you do this to me. I'm not. So the person who keeps the website up, be careful, mate, because you're going to be stood right in front of me very soon. And some things I'm not going to deal with in court. Like I said, it's all changed me. I will never, ever, 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 ever be the housewife that I should have been. Because they've turned mummy into somebody that wants to create a beautiful, lovely space for my children to play, knowing full well that people have got my children's backs and mine. Which is not a very nice way to have to live. Not trusting people is not a nice way to live. And it's not. It's not. It's a horrible space to be in. And it is. But all people have done is shown me that they have just constantly kept pushing me up the wrong side of the river. And I'm going, I don't want to go that way. And then they're going, oh, what's up with you? And I'm going, I don't want to go that way. Do I have to kick off with you people to go, no, you're trying to drag me into a lifestyle that's not mine. That's like trying to give me chocolate ice cream when I like vanilla ice cream. Don't want your chocolate ice cream because I don't like chocolate ice cream. I don't even like strawberry ice cream. I like vanilla and caramel ice cream. I don't like dark chocolate. I like milky chocolate. I don't like strong coffee. I like weak coffee. I don't like fried eggs. I like poached eggs. Scrambled will do. And that's the difference in knowing ourselves. We can say, no, that's just not part of me. And it's your projection and we can walk away from it. But when it's people like this, and they can manhandle me and they can violently, aggressively do things to me, get away from me, mate. Get away. Get away. And then people say, pay your bills. Okay, tell you what then. I will go out there and I will put myself on a street corner and I will offer myself out to any person at any price and see what I get, yeah? Whatever. I just not. So anyway, to the people that genuinely do want to actually help and genuinely do want to set a precedence within these courts, we're never going to strip this down the way that you think we're going to do. No form of anarchism is going to do that. But we've got to make it work. We've got to make this system work because there is a future generation coming in through my children and their children that are going to look at us and go, what the fuck did you do? How the heck did you allow them to do this to us? How did you allow them to put us into concentration camps? How the heck did you allow them to vaccinate us all? How the hell did you allow them to put us all onto chip and pin? How the heck did you allow them to control and manipulate us like this? You stood back and watched. And it's the bystanders that are more guilty than anything. To all you people that have sat and watched, knowing full well that not one person has helped me get in for my scan, not one person has helped me get back into court, and everybody has just let it go and let it go and let it go. You've all been part of it. You've all allowed it to happen. You've all watched the abuse and allow it to happen. 11 people tried writing to a judge when my kids were taken. Those 11 people did not bystand. Those 11 people stepped in to say, whoa, 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 whoa. But they didn't step into the court. They didn't make themselves parties to proceedings because they didn't know. Well, ignorance is not enough right now. I don't have the answers that I need right now. I don't know everything that I need to achieve what I need to know. And that's not good because it makes me blind and it takes my certainty away. But I don't have a choice, because if I don't move now, then this is a car crash. I'm going to have to start again. Next family, hey? That didn't work. New family, try again. Anyway, my boys are safe. They're with my mum. Elijah's not well at the moment, got a bit of a cough. I'll be fucking annoyed if my mum takes him for any test or takes him into any system, mate. And I am getting nervous because it only takes one fuck up, mate. I'm responsible. The consequences come down on me. I'm the one that has to pay for the consequences. And do you know what? This particular parking ticket, this one in particular, I trusted somebody else. Yeah, park there, you'll be fine for an hour. Well, no, I wasn't fucking fine for an hour, was I? I got a parking ticket in the middle of being fucking homeless, living in a fucking car, and now I'm paying the consequences of it now. Well, I don't need your bullying. I don't need your intimidation. I don't need your trauma. I don't need to justify or explain myself to fucking anybody. I don't need to explain my condition to anyone. I don't need to explain what treatment I need. I don't need to explain my pain. I don't need to fucking explain anything to anybody anymore. But is it making the battle to not be here harder? Yeah, I think if one more person, it could push me over the edge. Of course it could. But there is only one answer: justice. Proving that fucking Dr. Bose was wrong. The social worker was wrong. And the thing is, I'm a bit nervous that I reckon that once I start scraping away at this and more court cases do get through and more people do bring private prosecutions against them, we are going to find that this was a bigger problem than we could have ever imagined, that it was much deeper. And once people do feel empowered to actually speak out about how it makes them feel, like even now, there are people in their homes, mate, scared shitless, that won't even come out because they're genuinely fearful of dying to this virus. There's old people here that don't even get out their own homes every day. Where's the care in the community, hey? Social care. Because we care. Oh, we care about you. No, you don't. And multi-agency doesn't even deal with this. Look, I'll do one thing before I leave, yeah? This is all old people, yeah? So I won't show you, but families, all old people, things. You won't ever see anybody sitting down here just chilling. Until I do. You know, you just don't. You just don't. People hide in their houses. You know, like I said over at the other place, there was thousands of people living out there, but there was no one. It's very sad. It's very sad. So anyway, help me go to the Queen's Bench. I've got to focus. This is my last live for a bit. I cannot afford to get distracted one fucking iota now. I've still got to get some stuff done in this flat and try to get a run of it. But the problem is they could turn up at any point at my door and call it, and I won't get the stuff back. And the thing is, once they go into this with me, it's going to cause me further fucking injury and trauma, and I just can't. Yes, I am very aware that if... Just 2 seconds, sorry, Dean was ringing then. I have to ring him back. But yeah, I'm very aware you can go and sign under the mental health things, but then you've got to work with that system. And then when you have children and social care. I just can't be bothered with it. I just want an injunction on it all. I don't have one form in front of me that says anything about who I am. Not one. Not one. Not one. These people don't know anything about me. They don't know what I love, what I'm about, what I stand for. My own family don't even know me. Anyway, I guess I'm here to do this, and so this is what I shall do, because my children are my property, and I don't have enough assets. And I do believe 100% that when I correlate my parking tickets and my inland revenue from when I went self-employed, I have a feeling it's all going to tally. I do. I don't know. I can't prove it yet, can I? It's a hunch. It's an intuition. Not paranoia. It's what I've been watching this for a long time. Long time. Long time. I was like seven the first time I started to understand the concept of foster care kids. Yeah, and like I said, my first ever best friend when I was 19 was somebody who was adopted and abused by her adoptive parents. So I was very aware from this. I just never ever realised that I would go from knowing stuff going on to going, look, this stuff's got to stop. It's causing mayhem, it's causing destruction, it's causing pain, and pain people can't talk about. Pain people don't even understand until you actually do get the chance to sit down with a really fucking good therapist and unravel and work out where things are. Some people are quite surprised on where their trauma actually comes from. And even deep-rooted childhood trauma, it's not always about sexual, physical, emotional abuse. And then what that does is it makes people who haven't been through that feel that their life and trauma is not as significant, and it stops people from healing. And we've got this whole world of trauma going on. Even if it's trauma can even be as simple as organising a birthday party and it raining. And that can cause you trauma. And people are not realising that our body keeps a score. So for every emotion that we've had, or every, even if we've unexpressed it, so my lives are my way of releasing that emotion off of my body. It's my way of not getting it trapped, because otherwise, it's like my diary, I suppose. Diarying is a great thing, because at the end of night you can release it and go, well, actually, that's not even what happened. I saw that a bit different, or, oh, I didn't realise I felt that way. And people don't realise you can have feelings and emotions over anything. It can literally even be dropping your child off at the school gates and it being busy. You know, so this system's so fucking wrong. It really is. You can't pigeon box it like that. So anyway, parking tickets. You know, to be disabled or to be enabled? That is the question. Anyway, I'm fucking starving and I'm tired. And I am. I'm just pissed off. It just pisses me off. It just pisses me off. It just pisses me off that they get away with it. Yeah. Always remember. Well, anyway, got to do what I got to do, haven't I? Because if I don't, I know it's just if I don't, Anyway, thank you so much for my birthday money from the lady that decided to help me out with my skates. I've got the money up here at the moment, and I've added my money to go and get these skates that I want. but I'm feeling like I shouldn't be allowed to invest in myself right now, and I've got bailiffs knocking on my door, and this is the problem, isn't it? And this is what happens to mums, because mums have got bills and they've got their children, and their children need, and your children will always need something. Mums ending up denying themselves, and then dad comes in and he needs something, so you end up giving it to him, that we just end up sacrificing so much until we're so fucking depleted that even we look in the mirrors and just don't even know who we are anymore. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, I don't think most people on benefits understand how tax works when you're on benefits. I don't think many people realise that people on benefits used to get full housing benefit, and they used to get full contribution towards their national insurance and their tax thing. I do believe it was 2010 this changed. I know I got caught out by it. And obviously there is a contribution for council tax. So even people on benefits now contribute to these things and pay for these things. And people who always been on sick benefits won't realise things that are being paid for them by the state. So the Bible said we were to tithe. Jesus came to turn the table tempers over, the money makers, the change makers. He didn't succeed. He was put on a cross. He was nailed to the cross by the Romans who said, do not conform to the ways of the world, but by the renewal of your mind, by the renewal of your heart, mind and soul. We live under a dogmatic Henry VIII church, being controlled by the monarchy that isn't even the original bloodline, who basically murdered, pillaged and raped people for domination of our land. We are now going back through this again now, where there is a power control while they are fighting in Israel. This war keeps going on and on and on and on and on. And we get on with our little nice flashy phones thinking, well, you know, what's going on in EastEnders today? How did Corrie get on? And can't be like that. We got to take, all of us, have got to take our heads out the sand and go, oh, what's going on around here? Where's my business? Where should I poke my nose in? Where's my business out here? And we all now need to go and find where our fucking business is, mate, and poke our damn noses into that business, that problem, yes, and go and be the solution for that problem, and start poking our nose into things that just is not working, and pushing back now and saying no. Now we do need the where people start coming together in their communities and going, look, do we even need these schools all on these roads? Do we need as many schools? Do these schools need to have gates? Should we not have facilities for the community so people can go swimming or play tennis or go climbing or learn these things so they can go out there and do these things? Does it need to be like this? We don't need MPs knocking on our door telling us what their agenda is for their sustainability. We, the people, need to be sitting down and understanding what the fuck's going on. And if you don't know what the Children's Act of 1989 is, you better damn learn it. Because if you don't, one day you're going to find yourself in a situation and realise that actually our birth certificates are not quite what we think. Now I've got to suss out how I'm going to tumble all of this into and do this. And I have no choice now. The whip is cracked on me. It's upsiding me up the head. And the Lord has opened up the fucking Queen's Bench for me, direct. So I've got to take it. I've got to take that opportunity. I just don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't. And I want to procrastinate, and I want to cry, and I want to be depressed, and I want to jump off the bridge, and I want to leave it. And I'm sure when I get the paperwork out, I'm going to start going mental at it again, and it's going to trigger me off, and it's going to piss me off. But right now, I have to deal with this, and I have to ring the courts. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go and put my phone on charge, and I'm just going to ring the courts and let them know that this is what I'm doing. And you know what? You tend to meet some really bloody lovely people that are understanding that this is a problem, but they don't know what to do about it. So, and people don't want to hear about trauma and pain, because they want to hear that you're good and you're healthy and you're well and everything's good. And how are you doing? I'm fine. And that's how we end up with manic depressives. Because everybody just walks around going, I'm fine. I'm so good, I'm fine. No problem in the world. I don't manifest problems in my life. I'm fine. The sun is shining. The weather is lovely. And it's watering the plants if it's a little bit drizzle. And it's not a problem and everything's good. I love my antidepressants and my Valium. They just say you're mad as a fucking fish. So anyway, today I'm not fucking fine. But I am fine. I was just a little fucking pissed off. And I'm sick and tired of dealing with this. And my neck is fucking killing me. And my headache is banging. But needless to say, keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. I just want to go and get me roller skates and go skating now. But alright, anyway, I'm going to go and have a meltdown for a bit. Process. Make some phone calls and start putting an injunction on things and everything to give me the time to sort things out. And that's it. Leave me the fuck alone to have some fucking headspace, mate, because I can't even think. I got everybody. It's just noise. Can't even digest it or process it. It's just noise. It's just frequency noise. This is what these people sound like to me. Social workers got to come and visit me. Manager! Somebody trying to help me! Noise! That's all it is. It's not helping. Amber, it's just noise. It's not helping. The only person who's actually done anything to help me and put me on track, and I don't really want to say her name because I don't know whether or not she wants her name mentioned, and it is the lady who's helped me out with my roller skates. Because that's actually something that I want to do. Bless Dean, you know, and he's so sweet, and I've got a really beautiful, lovely blanket and bits, but all I wanted him to do was come with me, with the boys, to the roller skate park. I didn't want anything else. That's all I wanted to do. So anyway, I'm out of it.